So one healthy development is that we're seeing the media at the very least, and it's a huge distraction from what I think is really important stuff. But that the media at the very least is basically calling out when Donald Trump lies. Now, the Washington Post said that Donald Trump repeated an incorrect. I'm trying to think of how they phrased this. A incorrect claim, I guess it was. But the New York Times called it a lie, that Donald Trump, in meeting with congressional leaders, Trump repeats lie about popular vote in meeting with lawmakers, is what the New York Times said. The Washington Post was a little bit, without evidence, Trump tells lawmakers 3 million to 5 million illegal ballots cost him the popular vote.
I think that without evidence was added later.
Did I say 3 million? I meant 3 to 5 million. Actually, it was 7 million votes. I would have had the greatest victory ever. But I give the country back to you.
Here's Carl Bernstein arguing with Kayleigh McEnany. What's her name?
Kayleigh McEnany.
Kayleigh McEnany.
Oh, Kayleigh McEnany. What? Carl Bernstein
arguing with Kayleigh McEnany. This is ridiculous. Everything is absurd.
It's absurd. But at least the media, the news media, the print media is at least, sort of setting the tone for this. He's a liar. He's a pathological liar. And here's Carl Bernstein reiterating that point to Kayleigh McEnany.
Amazing thing.
We are having too many bizarre moments with this new president, as Phil Mattingly called it. And you want to say to the president of the United States, right, but you want to say to the president of the United States, grow up, Mr. President. You have been elected to be our president. You want the big numbers? Unite our people and be the leader of all the people of this country. Something very disturbing is going on here. I talked about the tweets being an MRI of his psyche. These remarks are likewise an MRI of his psyche, and it's not a very pretty place where we're hearing this.
Is this much ado about nothing?
It is, and it's just so funny because sometimes I feel like I'm in this tornado where we all know Donald Trump tweets. We all know that he talks about his poll numbers. We all know that he talks about his victory, that he'll question the popular vote, and he does it, and then the media goes into a tailspin, and meanwhile, viewers and the American people watch, and it doesn't affect.
He is saying that fraud occurred on the most massive scale of an election in our history. Well, it's not true.
What's interesting
is
false. Oh, well, you say it's false, but there's no way to disprove that this didn't happen.
It's been disproven. There's no evidence whatsoever.
Look,
imagine Hillary Clinton.
There's no evidence to the contrary either. You can't disprove the fact that many illegals voted. And there's a 2008 peer-reviewed study that shows 6%.
There's considerable evidence to the contrary.
You have no way of proving that Kayleigh McEnany was not the victor of the election, but for fraud. For all we know, there were 65 million ballots where her name had been written in. Do you have evidence that's not the case? They don't exist? Yes, of course. That is simply evidence of foul play. I give the country back to you.
Wow. Here's what CNN should do. They should fire her. They should get rid of her too. Somebody else, and we'll get into this later.
Matter, you and I am.
But people are now writing like they should not allow Kellyanne Conway to come on. The Seder rule of barring flat out liars from the TV. You let the president come on because he's the president, but there's no value in Kayleigh McEnany. If you have a pundit who's just a pathological liar or a spokesperson who's a pathological liar, their fundamental purpose for being there is useless. I mean, you can have the president on even though he's a pathological liar because he's still the president. But why would you have people on who are supposed to inform your audience President's not there to inform your audience. The president's the subject. But the rest of them are supposed to be informing you about something. And if they're disinforming you, why would you consciously allow them on?
That's absolutely right. We should play briefly. It starts 10 seconds in. It's kind of funny. It's not the best thing, but it's funny. Jeff Merkley had Trump's nominee for chair for OMB, and he
Mick Mulvaney.
with two pictures from '09 and 16 of inaugural crowds, and asked him which crowd was larger from the pictures, which is funny in and of itself, and the response is revealing.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. Do we have it now? Okay, so this is the hearing for the budget director, Mick Mulvaney, and this guy's also a Freedom Caucus dude who is going to oversee the slashing of all sorts of reasons why we have a government in terms of the budget. But here is Merkley trying to get under President Trump's skin, which is pretty tough to do. I'd like to see you try and do that. Particularly unless, of course, this is being broadcast on CNN or Fox, or maybe live tweeted. So here it is.
I wanted to start with where Senator Cotton was when he was introducing you, which he referred to you as a bold truth teller. I have behind me two pictures that were taken at about the same time of day in 2009 and 2017. Oh. Which crowd is larger, the 2009 crowd or the 2017 crowd?
Senator, if you allow me to give the disclaimer that I'm not really sure how this ties to OMB, I'll be happy to answer your question, which was from that picture. It does appear that the crowd on the left-hand side is bigger than the crowd on the right-hand side.
Thank you. The president disagreed about this in his news report. He said, it's a lie. We caught them. We caught them in a beauty, referring to the press reporting. Says it looked like 1.5 million people.
That's awesome.
You're fired.
Mick, could you come in here for a moment? Yeah, okay. Did you see the white? The people blended in with the white.
They're always trying to delegitimize white people.
You have failed me.
Nick, what's your favorite body of water to drown in?
Oh, it seems you want to be with the weak people. Repeat after me. They were all...
I just said that.
They were all white. That is why you could not see them against the white background. You are the director of the budget, am I correct? Well, why don't you remind people, I am a ratings machine. Yes.
Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Subscribe.